tonight. We've got 4 amazing runners. We got Raylan, we got Hydra, we got P-Train, we got Edium, and we are go.
Yes, it's a great start already from Link's house as we get a bottle of red goo. The two things you want to get before you run your Kakariko checks, a bottle and the flute. We get an early map check to start things off as well. We got a green pendant at Tower of Hera, blue crystals on the other 2 dungeons. So 1 pendant in the light world this evening. Let's see what that means for our dark world.
But it may come into play being the green pendant. And speaking of map check, poor Raylan, all they got out of the going out of Sanctuary was actually just the map. So unfortunately, it looks like there's definitely going to be a... eliminate some other possible.
Indeed.
So we have P-Train having raided Aga's closet. We've got Raylan doing a bunch of checks over there. We've got a little bit of divergence here. We have Edium just catching up, getting big piece of love, 20 bucks and 5 bucks, so not much. Now, I missed the lumberjack ledge. Did you catch that, Captain?
I believe it was a heart container, but I am confirming on my phone's playback because it has a nice long delay. I think it actually was a bottle.
Oh, well, either way, not required, so that unfortunately does start to kill a little bit of that Aga 1 happening here.
And I also took a quick look at what was in Sahasrah's closet during the hiccup as well. It was a heart container, a big 20, and a big 5.
But P-Train picking up Quake from the Bonk Rocks cave.
Ooh, that may come into play later. We also get bomb drops from the bush crabs. And it looks like hearts as the tier 1 tree pull.
Well, that's fantastic to get those bombs this early in the game to take care of all those Kakariko checks.
Yes, there are an additional 3 bombs in the uncle's chest as well. We have a heart piece growing up in the Lost Woods, and it is confirmed to be a B-Torp in the lumberjack ledge. And do you want to do a fetch quest? Because now we already have our shovel.
Oh my goodness, the game just hates us in the best possible way. Meanwhile, I got Hydra going in to get their Quake tonight. So amazing, actually, we haven't had that much route divergence. I mean, granted, this is early game, but we've seen quite a few runners actually change up where they want to go. Surprisingly, nobody's done any part of the front side of Hyrule Castle, which is something that you'd probably see this early in the game too.
Well, I can understand that. Considering you have the boots early, you might as well do at least the Bonk Rocks check on your way to Lumberjack, because that is an extra check you can route in along the way. On top of that, you really don't have a decent weapon for a front of escape. You don't want to do bomb strats, ideally, for that.
Well, but all 4 of these runners can handle basically any strats on you. Let's see what Blind's hiding for us tonight. Good old big 20. Oh, single rupee. Being nice and hey, we got a quality of life with a half magic. And another 5er. So we still don't have enough to deal with Bottle Merchant just yet.
Nope, and that was literally all 3 regular rupee types. Tack on another big 20 to that while you're at it.
Game's being a little bit cheap with us tonight. Let's hope that we get something out of it.
Oh, we had a Super Metroid Zelda 3 combo randomizer race Sunday where the Morph Ball was on Zora, but the game only gave us like less than 100 rupees. In terms of the
man. Hey, another fetch quest! We got our mushroom from the well and perfectly timed bombs for Raylan.
Yeah, that's another bomb chest bailout there. Everybody's going to be happy to see those. But yeah, that's 2 fetch quest items already in the first 4 minutes.
And we're still 3 rupees short of that check for Raylan. P-Train's got the 100 bucks. Edium's got the 100 bucks. Hydra's actually quite far behind on the rupee check, but going to get some stuff from Blind's hideout here.
Yeah, Raylan's going to double dip the well here just to get those extra 10 bucks to perform the Bottle Merchant check now.
Which we'll get a preview of with P-Train. The most expensive bombs ever.
Second most expensive. The most expensive would be the 500 for the bombs on Zora.
Oh, that... very true, very true. So it's a lot of just waiting to see what progression items we're getting, because other than a shovel, which is conveniently placed because we're pretty close to Haunted Grove, not much going on actually this early game.
Yeah,
It's not really
literally
being
the
too
only
much of a
thing.
fast Friday.
Yeah, literally the only thing we picked up from Kakariko that's been of any notice is that mushroom. And well, I take that back immediately because the fire rod was on Sick Kid.
That's called Commentator's Curse. We're not getting anything of value, are we? Oh, wait, half magic fire rod.
I'll try half magic's not too, and half magic, actually half magic with fire rod especially. Not only is that really helpful, but that is our alternative light source for some rooms in the game, because with version 31 logic, the fire rod is considered a valid light source if the room has a torch in it.
Which actually, the back part of Eastern Palace is in fact one of those rooms. We are
Yes.
expected to be able to do that, so Eastern could be an early play here. Well, assuming we find a bow to get to the back part, but still. Meanwhile, the race game, just a full heart container. P-Train saying, you know what, I'm feeling good. I don't need it.
Yeah,
But
and with
forgetting that they have a shovel, because Raylan's heading to the Haunted Grove right away.
Ooh, this could end up being possibly a muscle memory hiccup, unless P-Train just thought, now might be a better time to turn the shovel in before going to the front of Escape, because it seems that's exactly where he's going.
Well, didn't miss much after all. Just a little bit of love over there.
Yeah, but with that fire rod and half magic, front of Escape now suddenly seems like a very tantalizing play. And now Raylan has the bottle.
Well, that'll be fantastic to go take care of that fire rod problem that we're going to have. And in the meantime, of course, with the bombs and the fire rod, doing a stealth draw check is going to be absolutely no problem.
Indeed.
But Raylan wanting to do a fake flipper here.
I understand this. This is to turn in the mushroom because this puts you out right in front of the witch's hut. I can understand wanting to get the fetch quest items out of the way now, because the mentality behind that is if you get a fetch quest item early, always turn it in, get it off your mind, especially if it's not that far out.
Well, and we got P-Train and Edium following right behind, so you must be onto something here. Guess we'll find out in about 6 or so seconds. And what did that mushroom transmute to? Well, so much for those fetch quests being really important.
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, that is a lot of heart pieces we found so far, and on both of our fetch quest items for that matter. It does appear that everybody is electing to save scum that mushroom in case they get the Cane of Samaria they can fake powder later.
Absolutely agree with that play, because if Magic Bat has something, you never know when having fake powder is going to be important here.
Although, knowing our luck, powder's probably going to show up in someplace like Mini Moldorm Cave at this rate.
Oh, and speaking of showing up, something it actually took me by surprise is that given the open early boots race that we have, we may come across a chest that actually is empty, and that confused the heck out of me when I first saw it. Turns out that's where the boots would have been.
Exactly, yeah. The boots item is still in the pool, but because we have the boots already, the chest just comes up blank.
Yeah, it's a lot of changes to memorize from version 30 to 31, but I don't know about you, Captain. I feel a lot of them are really wonderful quality of life changes. Like the progressive bow, I think is fantastic. The ability to choose your crystal count, your ability to skip the entire part of Ganon's Tower is fantastic. I mean, just taking a look at our mini Muldorm Cave, we got a bunch of cash, nice bit of blue goo, some more blueberries, but not a lot else.
Yeah,
we're still striking
yikes.
out. So we were also saying that Edium making the play that we thought would be a good idea, that front side of Escape. P-Train having checked the desert ledge, just fighting a little bit of love over there. Asking the question, is this even randomized? Now, Edium hasn't turned in the bottle to get the... Oh, wait, why was he using bombs when he had a fire rod? That made no sense.
Might have just been muscle memory, but it was worth it because we got the blue tunic in the first chest, and there's the hammer in Agina's cave.
Oh, that's a big find. That's a huge find, giving us level 3 attack and a large part of our Dark World access underway.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one. Meanwhile, Hydropower just got the Cane of Samaria in Ice Rod Cave.
Now we're getting our Fast Friday on.
Oh, hey, Hammer and Canis Samaria, you want a fake powder magic bat? Well, now we can.
And that would be a perfect time, but that half magic's going to make it take a lot longer.
And, well, just add things on here. We got the Book of Medora in the second chest of Hyrule Castle.
Well, that gives us actually that gives us great access to the front side of Desert because we aren't going to be boots locked no matter what happens.
Indeed. A Hydropower has set up a water walk and is going to go check the bridge guy.
Let's see what we have here in Zelda's cell. What was she hiding? Our first sword!
Oh boy, things are just suddenly lining up out of nowhere after what's definitely a slower, not super slow, but a slower start from Kakariko. Now suddenly everything is coming into place here.
Indeed, everything is coming up Millhouse.
And courtesy of our Fire Rod, Dark Cross is in logic, since there are torches in both directions that can get you to the chest. Now, if this chest does not have the key, that we are glove locked out of the back of Escape.
But it looks like Edium has bombs to take care of that. Now, I don't think we should. I don't know if we're going to be key locked. That's true. It could be in one of the 3 chests on the other side, which we would need one of the mitts for.
Yeah, and we've already seen the map, so... Okay, the key is in the back, because just a big 20 in the Dark Cross.
Meanwhile, we got Hydropower getting their blue tunic, P-Train doing the water walk, so we're just getting a lot of follow-up on what everybody else has been doing. So looking at the stream right now, looks like Edium currently has the advantage in terms of the routing, but again, it's very early.
Indeed, Edium will be Storm, hopefully routing an Ice Rod Cave to get their...
By the way, P-Train sequence breaking, going into Waterfall Ferry with the water walk and getting our mitts, getting our power gloves, sorry, but our first set of gloves here.
So we have a set of gloves that are flippers locked. With those gloves, though, he will be able to further sequence break into Death Mountain.
And actually have access. Well, we still don't have our hookshot to get to East Death Mountain yet, so that would be something we're definitely looking forward to before you'd go up there. Because only getting the Spectacle Rock check and the top of Spectacle Rock, which again we would need the mirror for, it's a lot of walking for not a lot of payoff just yet.
True. At the same time, if you do choose to save the old man, you do get a respawn point, which would at least mitigate the walk for a little while. But Train is going to check the back of Escape with those sequence broken gloves.
Absolutely the right play for I think so. Just knowing what we know. There's that pesky key. There's some cash. That looks like Zora level cash actually.
It's definitely close too. P-Train's still 30 rupees off right now.
Oh, but that's a whole lot of nothing to worry about. And P-Train doing Dark Cross means there'll be 20 more on the way for them.
Indeed. Now, King Zora is currently not in logic yet since the gloves were sequence broken. So right now, the things that we're looking for to put everything together is the flippers, which at this point, we're actually not, there's not many in logic checks that they could be. We still don't have AGA access either, so I'm guessing to think.
Well, we got boots. Well, we got desert because we have boots, which were given to us, and we also have book, and that was in logic.
True. We also have the front half of Eastern Palace.
Well, that's the gamble that Raylan looks like they're taking at this point.
So yeah, we have 2 dungeons we can dive, and Desert we can actually finish now, courtesy of that sequence broken glove.
That's true. That does take us out of logic quite a bit. But a crystal's a crystal, and Ganon doesn't care where or how you got it.
Indeed. It's still going to be a full clear, as out of logic as it is, and getting a full clear now is still great to take off your mind. Looks like ETM is performing the water walk as well. We'll get their first set of gloves here too.
So if you were a betting gentleman, Captain, where do you think those flips are?
You know what? I'm gonna still say front of Eastern Palace.
I'm going to be contrarian and say desert.
Fair enough.
We shall see.
Yeah, because it is one of those two. We just don't know which one yet.
Well, and unless we get a bow in the front part of Eastern, we also know that one of these dungeons require double dip.
Indeed, and it should be noted that the big key chest in Eastern Palace is still not in logic even with the fire rod. There's no torches. Oh, well, how about that? There's
That
the
works.
flippers.
Fine.
So
I'm wrong. You're right, and you win.
just this round. Still plenty of chances later down the road. But yeah, with the flippers, that puts our gloves into logic, so...
So, ooh, interesting. So I'm starting to think in terms of progression, desert then might be the big play to do, because getting up to Death Mountain, I don't think is in logic without lamp.
No, it's not.
So that means that whatever progression we need, just thinking of Dark World access at this point, we really just need Moon Pearl. So I'm going to guess that Moon Pearl must be in desert then at this point, because desert is full clearable. It's
Yeah,
fully in logic.
Yeah, and we're still missing a lamp or another sword upgrade for, I should say another sword upgrade or the cape for Aga 1. So yeah, that's still quite far off the table. We did find the big key in the compass chest of Eastern Palace, and there's the magic mirror too. So you want to throw in Tower of Hera while we're at it?
Oh, this just got interesting.
And with the hammer, we can now access East Death Mountain to go with it. Oh, actually, no, we can't, because we still need lamp or flute.
Yeah, we still can't get up to Death Mountain at this point.
Indeed, but
I mean, these runners can easily get up to Death Mountain, let's be honest. But it's not what the game is saying we should do. But
Indeed.
Hydra, taking my bet. Come on, Hydra, prove me right about something. I may not be the prognosticator like our friend Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna is, but one of these times, I'm like a broken clock. I might be right at least twice a day at some point.
But yes, with that, that is actually all three items in Eastern Palace as well, so there is no reason to go back there except for Armos Knights. And those were all three perfectly in logic checks as well.
So we got flips, we got mirror. We weren't boots locked because thank you, early boots game.
Yeah, the big key will be on the right side. But yeah, with those flippers, we are now pretty much back in logic for our logic train. Because the only thing that the flippers... Oh,
there's our lamp.
So now we have logical East Death Mountain access.
Yep,
oh,
that's
boy.
Looking like the play at this point then.
Yeah, Hydra's still probably going to go ahead and kill Landmolus anyway.
Well, you can. You don't necessarily have to, because it would all, depending on... Well, I shouldn't speak too quickly. I was saying you can just do it after Misery Mire, unless we don't need to go there.
Yeah, that is true. We can mirror, but we still don't have mitts to get to the Mire area, so... And it looks like that last item is actually on Landmolus. And Hydra says nope.
Not worth it at this point. I'm actually going to agree with that play. Again, just... odds are pretty decent that Misery Mire is going to be one of the required dungeons, right? Because we have 2 pendants, but 7 possible locations, so those are still, 30% chance that it is a problem. At 70, odds are really good at this point.
Indeed. Looks like Raylan is going to go ahead and do the remaining flippers checks, so we will see Ledge and King Zora's does have the cash for it.
Do we think that King Zora is going to have anything of value, or are we going to have the fish of Wall Street tonight?
That is a good question, especially considering how suddenly explosive the last 10 minutes or so of this seed has gone. And I'm going to say no. Unfortunately,
we have a little technical difficulty going on with Raylan, but I'm sure we'll be able to get them back as quickly as possible. So meanwhile, we've got the other runners. Now, Edium deciding to go take on Lanmo. And if Lanmo, like we said, has the last item in Desert, and if that item is Moon Pearl, That's a game changer.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't either or really either or is a good play at this point. Either waiting to check the Dark World, which you can do while you're at going to Tower of Hera, or just get it out of the way now, just in case. Either way, it's a 50-50 shot.
Well, it'll be certainly interesting to see. We'll know very quickly. And again, with that fire rod, Lanmo burns up to a crisp real good.
Yeah, it is only, I believe it's 2 shots each.
That's correct, sir.
Yeah, ETM does have enough magic for 6 shots at the moment.
And
Yes.
that's all she wrote.
That is a beautiful 1 cycle from ETM. But it's just for a big 20. But it does mean ETM draws first blood.
So, by the way, I would like to give a quick shout out to our amazing trackers tonight. We've got Poseidon, we've got Tau Decay. Thank you both so much for tracking the race with us tonight, because without you, we would simply not be able to do our jobs. Trackers, we say every race, the true unsung heroes of the speed racing community, and that statement will never get old and will never be less true. So, big, ginormous thank you to those two for helping us out tonight. Big time.
Indeed. Looks like we do have Raylan back, and he is going through the back of Escape now. We'll have to check his pause menu to see if he got anything important off of Zora.
Not that I could catch.
Yeah, it didn't look like anything. I was looking for his items. I didn't see if I didn't see his passive upgrades. I don't know if he had any mitts.
No, nothing.
Doesn't look
Nothing
like
doing
it.
there. So P-Train making the play up to Death Mountain, taking care of Old Man on the way. Edium not too far behind.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be the next big play. Unfortunately, Hydra does not have a bottle for the waterfall, or had no empty bottles, I should say, for the waterfall ferry, but does still have 2 bottles of red and blue goose, so that's still a good double health refill, which will come in handy. Looks like it's just a big 20 for rescuing the old man.
Oh, well, at least he gave you a tip for the work.
Yeah, it would appear that it is a heart piece on Zora's ledge. We did not see that earlier from Raylan's side.
Captain, did you forget to randomize this again?
Yes. Spectacle Rock, however, has our first bow.
And our Moon Pearl. Dang.
So our Moon Pearl was
dang.
blocked by that lamp.
Now this is a great Death Mountain.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, RIP Aga 1, you are toasted tonight.
Yeah, and at this point, this opens up quite a chunk of Dark World. We can now full clear Thieves Town and Skull Woods. We can now check Hyde Cave. We can check the Pyramid. We can now do full clear Palace of Darkness. Yeah, there's this.
We can check Swamp. We can check most of Swamp. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it's both good and bad, right? Because now it's just a question of who's going to guess right.
Indeed. We still do not know what our Dark World pendants and crystals are, which we will see momentarily, as P-Train is our first runner into the Dark World.
Come on, P-Train, open up that menu. Open up that map. Come on, let us know. So Meyer not required tonight.
Wow.
And our other pendant is Skull Woods. So we've got our Turtle Rock. So Hunt is now on for Ice Rod.
Yep, and our 5/6 crystals are going to be Palace of Darkness and Swamp Palace.
Oh, this is a wide open Dark World. I love it. Meanwhile, Hype Cave, we got 10-6. We got our silvers. I'm going to give this a 1.5 out of 10 for Hive Cave. What do you think, Captain?
Second bow. I would say 4 out of 10, especially this early. You haven't done Armos, you haven't done, well, you don't have to do Vidi. You haven't done Helmasaur, you haven't done Argus. All 3 of those are free with silver arrows. So you know what? I'm going to say, yeah, since that's our only good item, I'm going to say 4 out of 10.
For me, with these runners, they're all so darn good that Silver's truly is a quality of life item. So I don't know. Chat, what do you think?
I would still argue that it is faster than regular, so.
Well, of course it's faster.
And you gotta go fast.
And we're going fast off a pyramid ledge because all we got are some bombs on it. We got nothing.
So yeah, let's think this through for a second. We can full clear Pod, we can full clear Eastern, we can full clear Hera, granted it's the green pendant. We can full clear Thieves Town. We need mitts for Ice Palace still. But yeah, we're not looking for much. We're looking for mitts, hookshot, ice rod,
and at least another sword upgrade here because we need at least Master Sword to be able to damage Ganon.
True, and believe it or not, that was actually that ended up being an issue in Wednesday's I believe it was Wednesday night's Fast Ganon race. The last 3 swords were impossible or ridiculous to find. 2 of them were in GT. And Hydropower has just learned that the hints are turned off for this seed.
Meanwhile, Catfish just offering us a tip for showing up. And Edium getting ripped off by Kiki, the monkey thief.
Yeah, going
now,
into...
Ped, by the way, Ped is not yet dead. We still could have our Ice Rod on pedestal.
Yes, but unfortunately, and possibly Turtle Rock's medallion, but unfortunately, that is it at this point.
No, Turtle Rock is a crystal.
Well, yeah, so Turtle Rock's medallion could be on the pedestal if it's not the same as Myers.
Sorry, I misheard. I apologize.
No
I totally
worries.
misheard. But yes, there's still a couple of items, so Ped might not be dead just yet, everybody.
In fact, P-Train, actually, with P-Train's current setup, we might be getting a pet check right now, so get your pedestal hype in chat, because that's exactly where he's going.
Oh, come on, Oops All Dungeons. No, P-Train, you can't check the tablet with a shovel.
Let's see what we got.
Oh,
early ped dead.
It might give us a little love, but I have no love for that pedestal. Boo.
Yeah, me neither. Well, at least that gets that off the table now.
So now it's just a question of full clearing a bunch of dungeons and seeing what we get, because we have a lot of options. Now, I don't see anybody willingly clearing lots of Skullwoods. I think a dip is in order because it's really quick to check a bunch of chests.
Yeah, there are 2 items, and one of them could now be in that pinball chest, and it looks like we get the swag net in Palace of Darkness.
Meanwhile, we have P-Train going to check a bunch of chests in the Village of Outcasts. Again, Captain, are you ever going to randomize this race, man?
I swear, it's gonna come up soon.
A lot of vanilla heart pieces tonight.
Yeah, a lot of heart pieces in general. Not many heart containers. Our runners are still running 5 hearts.
And by the way, while we were looking, Raylan did take care of Lanmo and has their crystal.
Just a vanilla key in the Skullwoods pinball chest. And there was a heart container in Pod.
So you keep an eye on Pod, I'll keep an eye on P-Train, who gets their Master Sword here in Thieves Town.
That's definitely one of the ones you want to get now.
See what else we find. Another piece of love. We're actually almost out of items here.
Yeah, that's 2 items right off the bat in the front of Thieves Town. No sign of the big key or the small key.
Well, we don't really want to see that small key if we can avoid it.
Yep.
Saves us a little bit of time for them to check the big chest there. There's our hook shot!
Wow, Thieves Town was the play.
Hot diggity!
3 items in the front of Thieves Town.
Hot diggity dang dog. Keeping it family friendly, but holy cow.
You said it. I mean, we mentioned earlier that the seed exploded, and look at this. Now we can full clear Swamp Palace.
This is fantastic. We've still got Edium going through the Harmless Hellway and Pod. Now, interesting, Hydra maybe not realizing that this pendant doesn't really matter.
It did, because the ice rod was in the back of Skull Woods.
Oh, wait, what?
I just looked at my playback after noticing chat and confirmed it was in the back of Skull Woods.
And big props to Edium for our bomb jump. That's always fun to watch.
Wow.
For those who don't know, the bomb jump there, which we call the bomb jump, is a double frame perfect, double pixel perfect trick, which is a pain in the butt to pull off. But P-Train also getting ether in Thieves Town. I'm running out of non-expletives here.
Yeah, this is actually really kicking us into high gear. Ooh, Edium takes a death in pod, though.
Now,
So much
was
for high
that
gear.
a death warp to get us back to the front?
I believe so.
Because Edium still does not have the mirror.
Yes, but as it turns out, we are now looking only for the Titan's mitts, possibly the Bombos medallion, and we may be in go mode already.
Well, at least we'll be in no mode, that's for sure. Now, nothing really happening with Mothula there. I mean, nice kill, but no value.
Yeah, Hydra's gonna check the pedestal and learn it's just a little piece of love. Meanwhile, a note about Thieves Town, we have not seen the small key before the maiden, which means that the small key is locked in the big chest, and I believe that means our last item is on blind.
That is correct.
But yeah, Hydra finding that ice rod in the back of Skull Woods now is a huge benefit, because that's a back of Skull Woods in particular is a little out of the way, especially considering it's a pendant.
But we'll see what kind of advantage that gives Hydra as the race goes on. P-Train executing the script darn near perfectly, getting that ever so valuable compass.
Oh,
Now,
apparently
we did have
a
a tablet check, but I missed what it said. Did you catch that?
It was just 3 bombs. But now Raylan is going to give us our look at Tower of Hera. 2 items up for grabs in here.
And getting a little bit of bad luck getting that compass in the opening section there, because we do not want to have to go down to the... That adds a lot of time, and we're basement bound.
Yeah, that's where we're going. We did find the bloomerang in the back of the brewery.
But more important, it's the greatest boss of all time, your friend and mine, Mr. Dino Kitty. How you doing tonight? You feel like getting your face smashed in? Of course you do.
Yes, and now would you kindly enjoy these 8 wooden sticks to the face.
And with way too many explosions that are absolutely necessary, down goes the Dino Kitty for the first time tonight. And P-Train digging up Big 20.
Only 10 digs.
And we're also getting our first look at Graveyard Ledge, it looks like here, in Hydra's screen.
Indeed, and with that hookshot, just came to my, just realized, this now puts Pyramid Fairy in logic. Ooh, we got a sword on Stumpy.
Very nice. Well, and now that means everybody, presumably everybody who's going to check Stumpy, is able to get a level 3 sword, which is, as always, a huge quality of life upgrade.
Big time. The damage increase between Mastered and Tempered is far superior compared to Tempered and Butter.
And frankly, even Fighter to Master, from my experience, it's just the
true.
best quality of life to get. Meanwhile, P-Train with that hookshot, we're finally going to get our first proper look at Eastside Death Mountain.
Yeah, this is a check we had access to for a really long time, so I'm going to be shocked if the mitts are up here, especially considering what we have now and what we're looking for still.
And
Never mind.
Hera has our mitts. We are in no mode. Well, Schrodinger's no mode. Schrodinger's no mode. Just depends on what the pendant is. On what the medallion is for TR. Why am I calling medallions pendants and pendants medallions?
Oh, that's okay.
Just
I get them
a
confused
bad
all
idea.
the time. We did get a shield in the C-shaped hut. The bottom of Paradox Cave was just a big 20 and a heart container. In the back, we get another big 20, another heart container, more rupee hordes. bombs, and another heart container. So literally, we just need to check the Turtle Rock medallion, and we could potentially be in no/go mode at literally less than 35 minutes.
Well, that's pretty phenomenal. We got Raylan smacking the tail of the big troll. Oh, so just that anxiety to find out what that Turtle Rock medallion is. Wait a minute, P-Train, don't you want to check Spiral Cave?
Guess not. And I could be wrong, but I think the Pegasus boots were on Moldorm because Raylan did not hold up an item upon takedown.
No, that is correct. So we know where our boots are. Yay, I suppose.
Yeah, okay, so at least we know where those were. But
So
yeah, wow,
P-Train
what a...
heading in to get the mitts. So just looking at the item list right now of who's got what, Hydra somehow still hasn't gotten any crystal dungeons yet, but has the best item hoard at this point. Because they've got the hook shot, they just got to get the mitts.
Yeah, and you have to figure that, and it is Quake for Turtle Rock. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been in no mode at 34.5 minutes, and it looks like Raylan is gonna at least open the front door.
But now the clock is ticking for how long it's going to take Raylan to make their way to Skull Woods to pick up. That's right, they haven't even been to the Dark World yet. How long it'll be before they get their butt over to Skull Woods and pick up that ice rod to finally just be in go mode.
Yeah, that's all Raylan is looking for. Meanwhile, Hydra needs to find the mitts, and it will do if he goes up to Death Mount. Oh wow, that means 2 pendant dips were required. Oh boy, at least they were the quicker
indeed.
dungeons.
And meanwhile, we blinked and missed it again. Edium taking down Armos Knights beautifully. And I didn't actually catch anything in Hookshot Cave. I don't think there was anything in Hookshot Cave.
Well, it really can't be that much in Hookshot Cave besides mail upgrades. And actually, it was only the first chest that Raylan checked because Raylan actually still does not have the hookshot. He's not gone to Thieves Town. The first item was just a big 20.
So we have Raylan in Spiral Cave, Spiral Cave, sorry.
Oh boy.
And there's your powder.
Yeah, too bad at this point. It's a great safety item, but it's unfortunately not what Raylan is looking for.
Unfortunately, Raylan doesn't know that's not what Raylan is looking for.
Yeah, Peach Train is unfortunately also suffering from the same problem right now. It does not have Ice Rod to take on Trinex.
And it's just, it's always tough when you're on this side of the game when you know exactly where the player has to go. Yeah, Hydra, having done that early dip, might be a little bit behind in the crystal count, but man, the advantage of having that ice rod already.
If his next stop is Death Mountain, and he decides to go to Hera instead of instead of Turtle Rock, he's gonna own this race at this rate.
Oh yeah,
I know it might be a little early to call this, but definitely I would still say definitely advantage Hydra power right now.
But it's just how long until either someone else catches on to Hydra's galaxy brain, or Hydra makes the right call. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. I love it.
Indeed.
Well, it also means we'll probably never release the birdie in Kakariko Village. A little sad about that.
Yeah, no sign of our flute, which means our flute, Bamos, Berna, a lot of things could be in GT as a result of this.
Yeah, Cape is still not found.
A cape was found. ETM has it. It was in. I know I saw it, but I don't remember where it was.
Well, I'm glad you're on the ball tonight for that. Man, I'm missing it.
All right, P-Train getting the news that all he needs is his mitts and ice rod. Or does he have the mitts? Yeah, he has to because he went into Dark Death Mountain. It's not marked on the tracker.
It's tricky sometimes, especially when there's a lot of items coming up. So we have a question in chat about just double checking the location of our mitts. And yes, our mitts are in Hera.
We are getting a look at the rest of Hookshot Cave from P-Train. The other 3 items are 10 sticks, a heart piece, and another bottle. That's 2 bottles of Code Red this game.
And we do have Edium on our East Side Death Mountain final checks here.
Looks like P-Train is gonna... P-Train and Raylan are both in Total Rock without the ice rod.
Oh, no. Thing you don't want.
Yeah, you hate to see this, and unfortunately there will be no laser bridge bailout for our runners.
Because they can go all the way to Laser Bridge.
Yep.
Oh, dear.
Alright, we'll see where Edium's going next, and, looks like Hydra's gonna check the Bombos tablet first. Etium is heading to the eastern, or I should say the western Dark World, excuse me. We'll see where he goes next. He has to go up and down, so... Oh, there's our flute. It's on Bombos medallion, Bombos tablet.
Oh, well, again, finding that this early unfortunately puts certain things in logic that you might not want to be seeing.
At the same time, it also gives Hydra a much faster ticket up Death Mountain.
That is true, assuming Hydra doesn't fall for the trap of checking Meyer.
Indeed, yes.
And that, honestly, is my biggest fear right now.
Well, Hydra's going to go to Hive Cave first, and this is definitely going to be a good play, because this will net him his silver arrows and an extra heart container. Oh, I missed this. Apparently we found red mail somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but yeah, that's red mail for Hydra.
Yeah, I missed that as well. I'm checking my replay. I can't even find it. So we've got Edium incredibly close to that ice rod. Come on, dude. Go north. Do we have a north? Are we heading north? We're not heading. No, Edium, you're so close. Ah! Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, he has to go this way anyway, to be fair, to get Hookshot and to clear Thieves Town, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether he routes in Skull Woods, but it looks like Hydra is going to start by checking Swamp Palace.
Well, it's an easy full clear at this point.
Indeed.
Now, I just want to confirm with our tracker, Hydra does not have Hookshot?
I think he does, because he has Thieves Town marked as clear. Yeah, there's Hookshot.
Alright, yeah, I thought so.
And I'm being told by chat, red mail was on Cave 45. So that's why we blinked and we missed it.
There's been a lot of that tonight. Meanwhile, let's see what we can find, even though it doesn't really matter a heck of a... Because we know what Hydra Power needs to be in full go mode, and it's just a quick trip up Death Mountain and we're done.
Yeah, I would say, interestingly, Etium has a chance to pull ahead here if he picks up Ice Rod and then goes straight to Death Mountain.
Well, that's the thing is, if Hydra had gone to Hera to get those mitts, I mean, of course, woulda, coulda, shoulda, then this would be a go mode Swamp Palace, which is super fast to do. It would be a go mode, actually, a lot of dungeons. Go mode desert, go mode pod, go mode swamp, go mode My gosh, it'd be Go Mode
Mode
Ice Palace. Go Mode Ice Palace is the best kind of Ice Palace because
Which,
Ice Palace is
granted-
terrible in
granted-
every circumstance.
Granted, that is pretty much guaranteed at this rate, since at this point, excuse me, at this point, it's highly unlikely that anybody who does not have the mitts is going to get the mitts before even thinking about Ice Palace.
Well, of course you can't. That's true. So at least we know Ice Palace is going to be a Go Mode Ice. But it would have been nice to have a Go Mode Swamp as well.
Indeed, although it looks like Hydra is skipping left side swamp at the very least.
For now, anyway.
Yeah, we'll have to see what whether or not that weighs on his mind before he goes back up to Death Mountain. On Laser Bridge, we're finally getting a good look here. We got a big 20, a heart piece, 10 sticks, and this last one has to be a key, I think.
And you know what else P-Train found on Laser Bridge? Extreme sadness and disappointment.
Yeah.
And you know what we found on Laser Bridge? Schadenfreude.
I'm sorry, what?
Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. The German word for taking pleasure in the pain of others.
Ah.
For instance, you go to a restaurant and you see the waiter drop all the glasses on the floor and you kind of clap. That's Schadenfreude, baby.
Ah.
Oh, there's a great song all about it in a wonderful musical avenue. Not the most family-friendly show, but definitely highly recommended. They give you the other great example of the elevator. You see someone running for it, and it closes just before they get there, and you feel a little smug about it. Meanwhile, on that incredibly terrible note, we got Hydra going after Argus, but with that bacon sword, gonna make quick work of the squid.
Indeed. ETM, meanwhile, has swiftly vanquished the Armos Knights. That'll be ETM's 4th crystal.
But we're still waiting for that Ice Rod play.
Yeah, now this is going to be the next major $1 million question. Will ETM go straight up to Skull Woods?
I would bet not. My bet is Swamp Palace is probably next, simply because they can full clear it anyway.
Indeed, yeah. Ideally, you want to at least try to get your crystals out of the way before dipping pendants, but in this case, we just know that's unfortunately not the right answer.
Again, when you're on this side of the game, it's really easy to know what to do. Oh no, and Hydra going in to take care of that left side swamp. Oh dear.
Yeah,
oh dear,
this
oh
is-
dear, oh dear.
I understand entirely why he's doing this. You're one item away from go mode at this point. You really, or in his case, he doesn't know he's in just mitts mode at this point. He hasn't been up the mountain to, or I should say, he hasn't gotten the mitts yet.
Oh, Hydra, forgetting that they already got the keys. A little bit of a rage swipe over there.
Yeah, whoopsie.
And we're gonna get a check of Angry Batman. Angry Bat, whose parents were also murdered in a dark alley, but instead of fighting crime, they cursed Link with a whole
lot of
whack
money.
of cash. Well, so was
Makes
Bruce Wayne. He was
Yeah.
cursed with a lot of cash too, but no parents.
Makes a lot of sense for Batman.
Amazing how life imitates art, apparently. Or other art imitates art, but Batman is also life, so I guess it's all the same. I'm
Right.
trying to get myself out of that one, honestly. I just failed utterly.
No worries. Looks like ETM is continuing down south. Is gonna probably check dig game next. Get those $20 for 10 digs.
Oh, wow. Well, we'll find out. We got P-Train taking on Armos Knights. Just count to 10, take your money, and get out. So meanwhile, we got Raylan doing the pyramid check. And we're all just sitting around waiting for someone else to do Skullwoods. Or we're waiting for Hydra to get up to Hera. And that's all we're waiting for.
Yeah, Hydra needs to get up to Hera. Everybody else needs to get to Skullwoods and then do Hera if they haven't already gotten the mitts. In ETM's case.
So just to bring everyone up to speed, if you're just joining us at around the 50-minute mark, The first 10 minutes of this race were really quiet and uneventful. And then minutes 11 through 20 basically exploded wide open. We can tell you that Turtle Rock is Quake, and we do have the medallion for that. Now, Hydropower, the only one who's gone into Skull Woods and picked up the Ice Rod, which is the one item that most of our runners need. But the one item that Hydra needs is in Hera. Hydra needs those mitts. So that's where we're standing right now. We're waiting for either Raylan or P-Train or Edium to go get that Ice Rod, or Hydra to go get... Sorry, Hydra has to get the mid, and Edium, P-Train, and Raylan have to get that Ice Rod. But meanwhile, Hydra, well, the goose is loose, the duck is amok, the Audubon's off the lawn. Come on, chat, give me better puns than that.
Yeah, E-Team just picking up that, the 2D instrument himself. And it looks like Hydra's fluting to 5. He's going to pod.
Well, it's an easy double play to do pod and Eastern all at one shot, so can't blame them. P-Train also doing the pod play. And now we got Edium doing the swamp play. So again, we're just covering ground we've already covered. Wait, I see a new one in chat from the Chain Nerd. The squab's on the job. You are awesome. Oh, now we're getting some good ones here in chat. Foul on the prowl. The Puffin is shuffling. Ooh, just chicken crossing the street.
Okay.
And one of our trackers, Tao, being very, very poetic about it. Goose is freed and merely flies to Lake Hylia in search of rakes. And the pheasant is present. Thank you, chat. You make me feel so much better about absolutely everything. I love it.
Yeah, this is just one of those things that, as an observer and anybody who's just been watching this for the heck of it, you hate to see this kind of moment because unfortunately we're just waiting for everybody to make the one play we all know they need to make.
But I don't know if you were watching P-Train with the amazing pod hover to skip the entire basement section. And I suppose now would be as good a time as any, by the way, to remind you all to please follow our runners. Raylan, Tanker, Hydropower 78, P-Train, and Edium. They are all phenomenal runners in their own right. They put on a great show for you week after week here on the Speed Gaming Network. So please do give them a follow. And also my fellow commentator, Captain MD13, definitely deserves a follow from you as well.
Much appreciated. The same to my partner as well, the Base Beast. And we should also take a moment to shout out our trackers, Poseidon Shadow and Tau Decay. The unsung heroes, as we have said all too often regarding these randomizer races. Also should shout out to Mind of Me, who has been in the background doing tech for tonight, making sure the stream doesn't fall apart on everybody.
Absolutely, there's so much stuff that happens behind the scenes to make these races look almost effortless. But I'll tell you, all the volunteers who run everything here for the Speed Game Network are just amazing folks. And actually, this would be a great time to invite everybody. If you haven't already, please come join our Discord, our Link to the Past Randomizer Discord. Everybody there is just... It's the most refreshingly wonderful part of the internet. Everybody is very kind, very welcoming. If you've always wanted to try running, you can ask anybody a question about any technique in the game, about routing. Super happy to have as many people participating in the races, as many voices participating in chat. We really love having lots of people around. And yes, chat, you are kind, no matter what emoticon you put afterwards.
Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, we've got everybody continuing to make their dungeon treks. ETM is in the back of Swamp. Hydra is going through the back of Pod. Actually, everyone's still kind of in the front. They haven't gone to the back yet.
Well, you know what I'm hoping for, based on the way the screens are going right now for 3 of our 4 runners in Pod here. I'm hoping for Triple Kitty.
We may see that.
Now, it's not as amazing as the fabled and rare Quadra Kitty, but I'll take a triple kitty.
And we will not be seeing tonight the ever elusive Helmacopter, excuse me.
Because I was like, yes, we're seeing Helmet Kitty, and that's what makes my better. And for those wondering, by the way, where on earth that came from, I was doing a run on my, just casually with one of my children watching me, and my son blurted out, "Daddy, don't kill Dino Kitty!" I was like, wait, Dino Kitty? And I realized he was talking about Helmasaur. And I hate to say it, Dino Kitty's a much better name than Helmasaur.
Well, he would get a lot more flashy in A Link Between Worlds, to be fair.
That is true.
And for those who don't know what Helmacopter is, there is a setting in the randomizer known as Enemizer, and that can shuffle the bosses. And in certain locations, Helmasaur King's the condensed arena can sometimes mess with Helmasaur King's programming and cause his tail to just spin like a helicopter. Hence the term Helmacopter. I saw it once during I want to say it was a fall tournament race, and I think it showed up in the league later, but it's
glorious whenever you can catch it. Absolutely glorious. Question from chat, is the duck then Flappy Kitty? I am absolutely willing to accept that. I'm going to go ahead and say yes.
No, it's just an untitled goose.
Well, if it's untitled, we should give it a title then. I have no problem with Flappy Kitty. And speaking of kitties, as Chad has pointed out, it is King Dino Kitty to us plebes down here.
Ah, very true. We are not worthy.
We are indeed. Though you gotta wonder, what a horrible species to have when your weak, vulnerable point is incredibly obvious and glaring and glowing right in the middle of your forehead.
Not as bad as that snowman monster in Mario Galaxy 2, where it's literally on his nose.
One might almost say the weak spot is a little too on the nose.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Sorry. If anybody could actually find me IRL, you would be absolutely welcome to give me a little smack for that one. And just a couple of frames too late for Triple Kitty, but you know what? We're all taking down pods. Now, P-Train already killing Eastern much earlier, so we got Raylan and Hydra probably both going to be mirroring to take care of Eastern right away. It'd be a nice quick kill with those silver arrows to boot.
Indeed. And the big key was nice and early, too, and everybody had to go to Eastern to get their flippers, which was hard required for Dark World access, so...
Oh my goodness, we are just waiting.
Oh, and
we know Hydra's going to be going Eastern right now, and there's that mirror.
And to answer question chat, Raylan actually already turned in the green pendant. It was just a heart container from Sahasrara. And Flute was on Bombo's tablet. Etienne, meanwhile, clearing Swamp and Pod is going to show us Pyramid Fairy.
Of course, we do have our 5-6 crystal already.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense to check, especially since you're still looking for 2 items for Go Mode. For all you know, they could both be in Pyramid Fairy. We could have a vanilla 4th sword in there.
Gain quality of life, but kinda gotta wonder.
Yeah, at this point, it's just not what EDM's looking for. EDM attempting a bomb dupe and succeeds. Very nicely done. P-Train, meanwhile, picked up their flute out of the Bombo's tablet.
So let's see what we find inside that pyramid. We know it's not going to be anything progressive.
You were saying?
I mean, progression, not progressive. Darn it!
That's alright, but yeah, just a shield and some sticks in Pyramid Fairy.
Alright, it was progressive, but not progression, darn it. Arrgh! And Edium now going to meet up with the big fish to get their well-earned 20 rupees.
Yeah, Yeah, Raylan's going to be the next one on our docket to take down the Armos Knights.
And P-Train bringing down Duck Kitty. Or Feather Kitty. I gotta remember what that was. That was such a great name. Hang on, let me go back to chat.
Hydra right behind Raylan on the Armos takedown. Now, where... Oh boy, P-Train is going to Mire.
And that was my biggest fear upon finding Flute. I told you, it's gonna lead somebody down a garden path you don't want to go down.
He has got to hope this is Bombos, and it's not, it's Quake.
Oh, jeez. Easily full clearable Mire at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I fear I might have to bring out my 17-second did you know fact just in case P-Train decides to do a nice, big, needless dip.
I would certainly not be, I would certainly welcome one of those at this point.
Now, given the fact that Swamp Palace still hasn't been completed, I would actually, and nor does Thieves Town, I would be really shocked if P-Train doesn't do Swamp first.
Me too.
Yeah, there you go. See, there's no reason to do Mire when you got other completable dungeons first.
Indeed, and it looks like Raylan's taken the same idea, and he's headed to Ice.
And again, unfortunately, this isn't a go mode ice because Raylan is still looking for that ice rod.
Yeah, actually, we were mentioning the go mode ice scenario, and then we didn't think about it because P-Train and Raylan got the mitts before finishing TR. Under ideal circumstances, they would have had the mitts and ice rod and done TR already.
And meanwhile, we got a Hydra, of course, doing the Pyramid Fairy again because it's in logic, but getting nothing of progression.
Oh man, we're gonna run with that all night.
Oh well, I figure I might as well, man.
Yes, but in the meanwhile, we've got Raylan continuing through Ice Palace. Yeah, this I know they're turned off, but this might be a good time to get a hint bailout for where you're looking for that last item.
Oh,
especially
man.
in Ice Palace. But we will not be seeing that tonight.
Unfortunately not.
Now we'll see where ETM decides to go after checking King's Tomb. It does put him fairly close to Skull Woods.
But again, Edium has also not done Hera either to get those mitts.
Which is fine, to be fair. What I would hope EDM does is he gets the ice rod out of Skull Woods, hopes that he finds the mitts in Death Mountain on his way to Turtle Rock.
That's very true.
Yeah,
because Turtle Rock is very item rich. No, that is a very good point.
Yeah, and EDM, unfortunately, EDM has already been up the mountain, as evidenced by the fact that he is packing silvers.
That is also a true fact.
So, yeah,
now,
I mean...
Interesting thing about Raylan, by the way, Raylan is still on Fighter's Sword.
That is true, yeah. Our other two swords were on Stumpy and...
Thieves Town.
Thieves Town, that's right. So yeah, Raylan doesn't even have the hook shot yet.
Wow. Which actually technically means that Ice Palace is not, in logic, full clearable.
Indeed. So yeah, this is a very interesting call for Raylan. But
I mean, we know it won't hurt them in the end, but still, the idea of sort of risk versus reward here.
Indeed,
I see what I mean about that go mode. I mean, we know that whatever Raylan finds here won't be of any consequence.
Unfortunately. But it looks like ETM is going to Skull Woods. And we know this is the right play. He might be going straight to the back to check the back in Mothula, which is, again, definitely the better call.
Wait a minute, Hydra's doing something really interesting here.
Oh yeah, he's gone up to Death Mountain while we weren't looking.
Oh, come on, buddy. We can get Hydra, we can put the fast back in Fast Friday here.
Yeah, that extra heart container from Paradox Cave definitely doesn't hurt, especially now that you're on Red Mail. You've got plenty of bottles, you're about to get another Mountain Dew.
Yeah, Okay, we're gonna be in great shape.
And
So actually, here's a question for you, Captain. While we're going through some dungeons here, it's just a philosophical question.
Sure.
We've been debating the last couple of times I've been on air. What do the potions taste like?
Ooh.
So we had a little debate about blue, and the votes were for blue raspberry, blue Gatorade, and my personal vote was for taro flavored bubble tea.
Taro flavored bubble tea. Interesting. I'm gonna actually, you know what? I was thinking green tea for the green potions.
Ooh, just
Kinda-
sort of
kinda
light
generic,
and refreshing.
Kind of generic, but yeah, not something that will like super heal you, but something that'll give you a little special power, I guess.
I was thinking sort of an electric apple cider kind of thing for the green potion myself. Red, I have no idea. Red, for whatever reason, nothing is jumping out at me for that.
I would say a simple Coca-Cola. Just interpret the red as the wrapping.
Or Mountain Dew Code Red. And speaking of Code Red, we are very close to go mode now with Hydropower making the correct play.
This is definitely the right one. Now Hydra still needs to clear full clear Desert Palace. He noped out after picking up the lamp, so that is something that he will have to go back to do.
But with silver arrows, that'll be nothing to do.
Absolutely.
And by the way, we've got Eddie in the back of Skullwoods about to get their ice rod here, except they still have not gone up to Hera.
Yeah, although you have to wonder, will this persuade him to follow the same logic that Hydra was thinking that, okay, I've got everything I need for Toro Rock, and did he do East Death Mountain yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because there wasn't anything crazy. Yeah, because he's only on 2 bottles.
But you know what? It looks like Edim's doing exactly that. Wait a minute. Yeah, just getting out so we can get the flute. Yep, there we go. And we can assume we're going up to space number 1 to Old Man. Oh wait, but Adim hasn't activated flute yet, so we're going to get another National Anthem of Hyrule here.
And this time we'll get to hear it.
Everyone please stand, remove your caps.
Remove your Minish caps.
Oh, very nice. And Duckman flies again.
Swag Duck Airlines is now open for business for all of our runners, I believe.
And still
Raylan
safer than the 737 MAX.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry, too soon?
Ay.
I like the Lark has embarked. I like that one a lot. And at 1 hour, 7 minutes, 53 seconds, Hydropower, first of our restreamers, officially in go mode.
And yeah,
we can breathe a sigh of relief, realizing we don't need to finish this nonsense. Hydra knows exactly where to go.
Yeah, and since everybody knows that there's nothing in GT tonight, there will be no GT Big Key guessing game.
Sorry to disappoint, but you know the best part? If nobody plays, then everybody wins. So if everybody wants to claim their prize at ALTTPR.com, you have all won a lifetime supply of rando seeds.
Disclaimer, the randomizer seeds are available to everybody regardless of whether or not they're a prize.
Except in Nebraska, because for some reason they don't like you.
Okay.
Le canard est à large. Ooh,
Ooh,
I like the multilingual stuff in chat tonight. You guys are amazing.
I gotta hand it to Etium for pulling a close one there. He ran out of magic with 1 heart to go, clearing Spike Cave.
But Edium not far behind for go mode.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. We may end up with a race between Edium and Hydropower here.
And remember, Edium has finished Desert, but Hydra has not.
Yeah, so that's gonna be an extra minute or so that Etium gets to save over Hydra. Although, unfortunately, ETM does still have to complete the full Hera clear here and does not elect to do the Hera pot strategy.
So this could be incredibly close.
Yeah, and ETM's also playing it real safe because he's down to 1 heart. He knows a slap in the face from the wrong enemy and he is toast. And he does not want to do that again.
Definitely not at this point. It is a pain in the butt. I mean, get killed after you grab the big key by all means. And speaking of big key and little key, Hydropower getting the super quick journey through Turtle Rock tonight. This is looking very good. Plus, they'll be able to go mode Ice Palace as well. Oh, this just got exciting.
Indeed. And to answer question, chat, the Titan's Mitts were in the small chest in front, the compass chest in Tower of Hera, and yep, Edium has taken the Death Warp to refill his health.
And thankfully no fairies in the bottle because that's just tragic when that happens.
Indeed. Hydra having a little bit of a chain chomp hiccup here, but with some fancy cane placements, snakes around them, and only takes 1 hit overall.
Wait a minute, we've got the move to the Herapod on Edium's screen.
I see why he elected to go to the basement now. He wanted to pick up the big key so that way he can open the big chest.
Which, as we all know, won't really matter, but opting not to grab the Quickie Fairy.
I can understand this. Edium has 7 hearts. It's only Tower of Hera. You're on red mail.
And you're in go mode.
Yeah.
Might as well do the chest and nope right out.
Yeah, and luckily we'll not get disappointed by the news that Moldorm literally had nothing.
Now this is interesting. Looking at the math for the time, Hydra, of course, having the advantage right now in Turtle Rock. Now, routing, of course, for Ganon's Tower is unnecessary because we're not even going to be going in. How close is this going to be?
It's kind of tough to say. Either way, it is down to execution at this point.
For sure, but what needs to be executed is roughly the same.
True, but Hydropower has already gotten up to the Turtle Rock big chest, so he's already like a significant 2 or 3 minutes into Turtle Rock.
Right, but still has to go to back of desert and beat Lanmo, which could cost about 2 to 3 minutes in of themselves. So again, who's got the advantage here?
I would say it's too close to call, really. I would say... And you have to figure that Hydra's going to clear Desert last, because after Desert, he'll just be able to pull out the flute and warp to a Dark World portal.
Oh, for sure, and just make their way up to the pyramid. So you're probably going to go to Link's house and make it back over.
Yeah, so... The other thing is, Desert Palace the backside of Desert Palace isn't that big. You do have one cutscene, but it's not that long.
No, and with silver arrows, you can make quick mincemeat out of Lanmolas.
Yeah, it's so tough to call because even the tiniest execution moves, like Edium missing that hook shot just there, that could be the difference maker.
Oh, yeah, don't go anywhere. I mean, yes, I understand and appreciate there's a wonderful Zelda 1 randomizer on another channel on the Speed Gaming Network here. I wouldn't leave just yet. This is going to be a nail-biter.
Absolutely. We've got P-Train taking down Cold Stare. Raylan's already actually cleared Ice Palace while we weren't looking.
I'm now going to finish off Thieves Town over here.
Turns out that's where Buttersword was. Buttersword was on Cold Stare. So that means our runners are going to be pretty much guaranteed Buttersword, except possibly Raylan, because after going through Thieves Town, Raylan is still not on and Ice Palace. Raylan is not on Buttersword. But Hydra and Edium will have to defeat Cold Stare anyway, so they are guaranteed Buttersword.
So meanwhile, we have Hydra taking down Binex right now, transforming into Uninex momentarily.
To answer the question in chat, Hydra was still looking for the last small key that was on Laser Bridge. There is one guaranteed small key on... usually there's one guaranteed small key on Laser Bridge.
Beautiful execution on that Trinex fight. So now we are a go mode, Ice Palace clear, and a back of desert clear for Hydra. We've got Edium still making their way through TR over here, and then there's still going to be a go mode Ice Palace as well. Oh man. And still we got P-Train on that hunt for that Ice Rod.
Yeah, Raylan's still looking for it too, but after clearing Thieves Town, Raylan is going to be in the neighborhood.
And opting not to grab that chest.
Well, yeah, that chest didn't have anything in it, and all 4 items were found off the bat up in the attic.
See, it's been so long since I was item counting in Thieves Town. My apologies. Hydra, going after that Ice Palace jump. Let's just do this. Let's do the dive. Let's take care of it. Oh, going to get a little extra insurance.
Yeah, this is a good, interesting call, because this does allow you to refill your bombs on top of that. And considering the rupee hoards we have found over the course of this race, this makes a lot of sense.
Oh, for sure. And we're fine for bottles and refill items anyway, so no need to go shopping later.
And Chad brings up a good point. I bet you would like to have more bombs, as the joke hint would commonly say.
And I can't think of any circumstance where... So it's just watching with rapt anticipation for Hydra and Edium who is going to get there first. Yeah, both of these runners in go mode, both of them about the same distance apart in terms of what they need to do for time.
And both running the exact same gear too. Red mail, 12 hearts, silver arrows.
Although Hydra will briefly have the butter sword before Edium will, but not really a huge difference maker. Although it does help take down Landmo pretty quick if you don't feel like you're a good Hawkeye for the day.
And in fairness, the silver arrows also generate a little bit of lag because of sparkling, so it does make sense to use butter sword is slightly more effective because I think it's 2 slashes with the butter sword and that's it.
That's right.
Just like the fire rod, so I can understand wanting to use butter sword strats on Landmola over silvers.
Let's see some good execution for that bomb jump. There we go. The IPBJ is done.
Yes, P-Train meanwhile is taking Jeremiah the Bullfrog on a bit of a tour around the Dark World and will now turn him in. There was just a hard piece in Hammer Pegs.
And which means we're also probably going to get a purple chest check, and P-Train, just go to Skull Woods, buddy.
We're waiting on Raylan to do the same thing for that matter, but it looks like he's going to do the Smith Chain as well.
Oh man, let's find out. Let's find out who's gonna figure this one out, because we got Raylan and P-Train doing the world tour thing. Edium taking down Trinex, but Hydra, by the way, in the time that it took for Edium to go into to get to Trinex, Hydra's just about done Ice Palaces on Cold Stare.
Yeah, and this is going to be a real quick fight. Tempered Sword, you have half magic Fire Rod.
So just doing a little bit of math. Let's see how far ahead we are. Yeah, just going over my restream. Oh, thank you, chat. You actually got the same number I did. About 3 minutes, 20 seconds ahead. So the question is, how fast can Hydra do Back of Desert?
Yeah, and I can't imagine it's going to take 3 minutes. I imagine it's going to take maybe 2.5 at most.
Oh, this could just be anybody's game still. Now, yeah, Hydra did have a very clean Ice Palace as well.
Absolutely. Performed the IPBJ and no problem whatsoever.
Now, Edium, of course, opting not to bother getting that bomb refill, which did cost Hydra precious seconds, and at this point, every second counts.
Yeah, save the frames is the mentality at this point.
And do I still have to kill the animals?
Not in this game, unless you want to toss the bird, but unfortunately Ether's not the Maya medallion.
Oh no, Hydra! Wrong! It's a mirror man!
Yeah, mirror bonked on the stone, so that's gonna cost him about 10 seconds.
Oh, jeez. Oh, this is gonna be tight.
Yeah, all eyes are on the right side of this screen tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we have ETM and Hydro on a hot streak, zipping straight to their last crystals.
And on a collision course with destiny. So let's see how Edium's bomb jump skills are tonight. Flawless.
Absolutely nails it.
So our next check is going to be see how Hydra does with Lanmo.
All right,
Because
Braylon
we have
is-
Hydra mere seconds away from what quick fight. If Hydra can one cycle,
We've got Raylan now picking up their butter sword from Stumpy.
1, 2, perfect bump setup. Oh my goodness.
3 skewers, you're out. And with that, Hydra picks up their 7th crystal. And with this, Hydra will be on their way to the Big Pig. And straight to the Big Pig.
Oh wow.
This just as ETM is coming down to Cold Stare.
But remember, we still have the Big Pig, and all it takes is one Ganon fall. And it all
Absolutely.
changes.
Now, Hydra Power finished off Landmolus at 121, picked up the item from Landmolus at 121.05. ETM has unfortunately let a couple Cold Stare Puffs get away. This is going to cost him a few seconds.
Especially with the lag by not keeping them all in the same corner.
But with that, that is at 121.53, so there is a less than 50-second difference here between Hydra and ETM, as they are now both immediately going to drop what they're doing and make their way to the Pyramid of Power.
So let's see what happens at the Big Pig.
Ooh, Hydra getting an unfortunate bonk there from that skeleton.
So let's keep track. Hydra having a little trouble climbing the pyramid tonight. No, wrong way!
Fell off the ledge.
Don't get fancy, just get up. So Hydra enters at 122.30, about 122.40 lands. So now we know exactly how far the time difference is. Meanwhile, we got Raylan and P-Train both in Swamp. Neither one of them has been to Skullwoods yet. This is killer.
And P-Train doing left side swamp while he's at it. I think actually both runners doing left side swamp. Oh no, I'm sorry. Raylan just entered the front door.
That's right.
But yeah, 12 slashes to send Ganon into phase, between the two phases. And Hydra already on phase 3.
Well, that butter sword making quick work. You fry crispier bacon with butter, don't you know?
Oh yes, and a lot of things taste good with butter. I like to have French toast with butter.
I like to have you ever actually had deep fried butter?
I have not.
That is a thing, and it's heart-cloggingly terrible, but so delicious it's unbelievable. Meanwhile, just missing the torch glitch. I don't think it's going to matter. That's a really nice setup, but
Yeah,
opting not to bother to try to go for multiple here.
Yeah,
Not quite getting the double there. And we've got Edium with the Big Pig as well, having a little trouble with some Fire Bat.
And that is the 4th skewer inked again. And get your GGs in chat for Hydra.
Wait a
Power,
minute!
who just fell off the thing.
What? Just have to do the bridge.
Oh
Don't
no!
get those GGs in chat. Hit that Control Z, Control Z. Oh my God!
I was not
Wow.
expecting that.
Oh no! Snatching victory from the or I guess defeat from the jaws of victory here. It really is the most dangerous 1x3 bridge.
As Ganon now asks, really? The Triforce was right there?
And Edium, I mean, I'm not even gonna say get any GGs in chat just yet. Let's just hold our breath. So everyone just hang on.
There we go.
Okay! Oh man! And we can say that, get those GGs in chat for Edium, the first of our restreamers, finishing, believe it or not, in 8th place tonight with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 1 second. Get those GGs in chat. We'll see if Edium wants to join us in the commentator's booth. Would you like to do some honors and let us know how the rest of the racers off stream have been doing?
With pleasure. We had a grand total of 24 entrants in this race. We have, of our 7 other finishes, we have, Gerdo, is it pronounced? Is that what the three is for? I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names. Gerdo finished in first with a time of 1:09:37. Gamachu in second with a time of 1:12:27. Salty Fry with a time of 1. For fifth, Zero Rush with a time of 1:23:02 for sixth, Plasma Kappa with 1:24:13, Julin Ninja just finished ninth with a time of 1:25:29, and with this latest finish, Hydra Power will take 10th place with a time of 1:26:05.
And get those GGs officially in chat, and we are joined in chat by Edium GGs tonight.
Sorry, just 1 sec. Need to
Not a problem, sir. We will happily await your point of view because this has been quite an evening.
There we go. I think I'm all set up correctly. Yeah. GG's. That was an interesting seed.
Well, the killer thing is you were 1 item away from go mode for basically 40 minutes or so.
Well, I needed 2 items. I needed the ice rod and the mitts. And I'm glad I found the ice rod first.
Yeah.
If I found the mitts first, yeah, it was probably going to last location, that ice rod.
No, for sure. The way the logic managed to work out where you were probably going to be going to check out TR on the way, realizing you didn't have those mitts, and then head up to Hera to grab them when you needed it. But man, it was actually incredibly close. We're going to get Hydra in a minute. Hydra was about 40 seconds ahead of you, beat Ganon, and missed the 1x3 bridge.
Yeah, so I heard. That is,
Yeesh.
Just tragic.
Yeah, but pretty much everybody had about 40 minutes or so where they were missing their go mode item, because in your case, Edium, it was the ice rod and mitts. In Hydra's case, he was just late getting to Hera for the mitts. P-Train just picked up the ice rod like a minute ago out of Skull Woods, and Raylan is still looking for that ice rod, but they both have mitts.
This was, it was very similar to the 2 p.m. daily, where some people last located the mitts. I think the fire rod and the ice rod were both in the back of Hendon Thievestown. And, yeah, so I found the mitts early, so I just skipped the back of Thievestown. And last located those items there, whereas everyone else who found the mitts late did the back of Thievestown and got the ice rod and fire rod early. So this was kind of a very similar type of seed. So I can see why some people got really, really great times and some people are going to have really bad times.
So we are also joined in the commentators booth by Hydra Power 78 GGs, and unfortunate ending.
Oops.
Well, they don't call it the most dangerous 1x3 bridge for nothing.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. But you know what? I'm not even mad, and I'll tell you why. Because this afternoon I won the first daily race, or I won my first ever daily race. It only took 2 years of playing this game to finally happen. So this is just the universe exacting karmic retribution against that. So it's fine. It's totally fine. You know, Edium can win the restream. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Well, do you know how far apart you two were?
Well, I learned after I saw the finishing. I just started laughing. You know, I was like, "Oh, well."
Well,
but you know, it's
Hydra,
better to
you had
do
the
that
Galaxy
now.
Brain tonight. You were the first one to go into Skullwoods and get Ice Rock. We were all just biting our nails, wondering how long it'll take for you to get up to Hera to grab those mitts and be in full-on go mode. And then you got it, and you were about 40 seconds ahead of Edium at that very end. It was breathtaking to watch, and then agonizing right at the very end. But I mean, thank you so much for making this an amazingly entertaining stream.
Hey, anytime I can throw for you guys, that's fantastic. I'd be happy to do so. No, and it's deja vu because the 2 p.m. I also had mitts mode through some galaxy braining, which I don't know where I got from either. And you know, I almost always go to the Village of Outcasts first rather than Hype Cave because Hype Cave is usually junk. And when I'm there, I like to do everything on that side of the map because it's really a pain to get back to, and so I just don't want to keep having to run around the 4 screens to get to the portal again. So regardless of whether skull or thieves are pendants or crystals, I usually do them anyway, because that early, there's so much that can happen, and that's just my personal philosophy. So when I got the ice rod, I'm like, I don't think anybody got that, maybe there's somebody out there that did. I mean, there's people that finished ahead of me, so and not just because I fell off the bridge, but yeah, so I was feeling really good about that. And then, when I got to Mitts mode again, I'm like, oh my god, it's happening again. What's going on? This never happens. Saturday is going to be ridiculous tomorrow. It's going to be some kind of crazy ice rod hunt for 200 spots or something. But yeah, it was pretty cool, no pun intended, to get that right away. And, I did wonder how many other people might have found that.
Yeah, see, my route, I basically started at Thieves Town and did the entire loop of the Dark World, basically counterclockwise. So I finished off at Skull Woods. So by the time I got to Skull Woods, I didn't have many places left to look. So there was no point not full clearing it.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair. So
I had gone up to the mountain earlier, but I decided to skip Hera, and because it was fire locked. So I didn't get the mitts, which was really good for me.
Yeah, it's better if you can find them at the end rather than the beginning. And I was going to do the mountain. I got the Moon Pearl, which was in a similar spot in the afternoon, and but then I fell during the bomb jump to get back, out of Spectacle Rock, and I just saved and quit and said, forget it, I'm going to the Dark World. So, but yeah, it was going to take a while to get back there eventually. If I had not done Pyramid Ferry up to Catfish and stuff, then might have been a few minutes faster yet. But you can't know that. So
I just want to cut in for a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys.
Oh, that's fine.
But a couple of things happened in the last couple of minutes that I just want to bring mention to. So Raylan, a couple of minutes ago, went into the Pyramid Ferry to hopefully find that ice rod, and found out that the Pyramid Ferry is delivering bees in a bottle, and left 2 rage bombs in response. And P-Train attempted to hover the entirety of the bridge, the last bridge to Trinex in Total Rock, and unfortunately fell right at the end. I was going for the memes, just didn't quite pull it off.
See, there you go, the universe exacting retribution again. Like, you will not meme on this broadcast today.
Hey, I'm memed. I hovered over the Ganon hole. It was the first time I've actually hovered in a race, although it wasn't a useful hover. I just had to try it.
I mean, that sounds like the ultimate meme then, not useful at all, so good for you.
Alright, we've got P-Train fighting the big pig.
We have some other finishers as well, by the way. We had SGTG finishing in 11th with a time of 1:29.01. Matt7898 finishing 12th with a time of 1:30.09, and Chloe Prower finishing 13th with a time of 1:34.28. GG's to all the non-streamed runners tonight. This was not a nice seed.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it could be a lot
okay.
worse. You could have an item on ped or an item on tablets. That would be after ped and whatnot. I mean, we've seen. Still, considering this is supposed to be Fast Friday.
I got a
Yeah.
sub 130, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, if there was a spoiler log available, this probably, well, guaranteed would have gone a lot faster, but would have probably gone a lot faster, because the way everything was being routed in the early game, with everybody finding stuff like minute after minute after the first 15 minutes or so, really it seemed like this seed was looking to be a super fast seed. And in fairness, it really could have been.
Yeah, I mean, Gerdo had a 109, but of course he's a robot, so that's to be expected. But
I mean,
yeah, it really depends on when you find those myths. I imagine somebody that might have found them earlier would have been, sucked into other places like Mire or full clearing ice or something like that, and avoiding Skull for the longest time. So it's a lot of it is just the order you find things and how lucky you get in that. So today's been a good day for that for me.
indeed.
Now,
And
I do have to
P-Train-
interrupt because P-Train has taken down the Big Pig, finishing in 14th with an official time of 1 hour 35:12. Get those GGs in chat for P-Train. We'll see if P-Train wants to show up in the commentator's booth with us in a moment.
Yeah, meanwhile, Raylan is heading back to Skull Woods. He is about to get the very bad news.
But for good news, we do have P-Train with us right now. GG's P-Train.
GG.
So, that ice
GG,
rod, huh?
P-Train.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen. I was trying to metagame the finishes. When I saw Gerdo finish, my thought was there's no... Or Gerdo and Gamachu, like, within minutes of each other. I was like, there's no way progression's gonna be in a pendant dungeon. So I immediately went right back to Swamp. I did something. I think I did the Smith Chain, Spike Cave, and then immediately did Left Side Swamp after skipping it. I was convinced that I left Ice Rod in Mimic Cave. I was so worried about that.
Luckily not the case tonight.
No, really was the question. We were saying actually to the other runners, everybody was basically 1 or 2 items away from go mode after about like 40 minutes. Hydra was the first one who went into Skull Woods to pick up that ice rod, but unfortunately was one of the last ones to get up to Hera. And Edium was vice versa, where we had one of the earlier mitts and then one of the later ice rods, and it all came down to one slip off a bridge and one little bit of execution here and there, and all of a sudden we had a race.
Yeah, in Edium's case, to be fair, he had to get both the mitts and Ice Rod, but in the Ice Rod led him to Turtle Rock, which by extension led him to Hera.
Yeah, I felt weird diving Turtle Rock, but I knew Flippers had to be in Eastern. I knew it was either Flippers or a glove. And then I found mitts in Hera, so I was like, okay, well, Flippers are in Eastern. But I was putting off Eastern because I wanted to combo Eastern and Pod with the Mirror. I was very disheartened to find Mirror in Eastern Palace, like at the point of the game where I was at that point.
Oof, yeah,
I had done so much.
I went hype straight to Pod, and then immediately after that, I did Eastern because I had cleared everything else. I knew the Flippers had to be in Eastern. So I figured I'll pick up the Flippers and maybe find something else in here, and luckily I found the Mirror. I don't know if that was lucky or not, because it made me full clear Swamp and stuff, but I guess it was better than getting it late.
In fairness, everybody full cleared Swamp. On the restream, at least.
Yeah, I double dipped it.
Yeah, we actually had a couple of double dips. We had a couple. I think one of you did double dip Turtle Rock as well, which was an unfortunate play. But again, Rando be Rando. We've seen that ice rod appear on the bridge enough times. I mean, we have poor Raylan doing the ped check, still hasn't found that ice rod, and is right. It's like right there. Hopefully, going to the back of Skull Woods to be able to join you guys very shortly.
And I double dipped the Ganon fight. I didn't mean to, but I did.
Well, more to the point, you enjoyed it so much you didn't want it to end.
I mean, butter silvers, man. Let's just, it's like, oh, that only took a minute. Let's try again.
Yeah, that is kind of like the one silver lining with all the hiccups surrounding the last Go mode item, is that at the very least, everybody was able to do Butter Sword Silver Ganon.
And Raylan, by the way, at 139.19, at long last, has joined us in Go Mode land. Oh man, that's just a rough one when it's the last location you've done outside of going out. Thank goodness none of you dipped Mire. It looked a little scary once that flute happened. We were just, because we knew we were in no mode long before you guys got the flute, and we were just thinking, oh man, if they get the flute, that's going to send them on such a wild goose chase. Sorry, no pun intended for that one, but it would have been really good if I did. And sure enough, it started to, and a couple of people got really close to dipping Mire here.
Yeah, we were kind of hoping that we were hoping that Mire would at least be Bombos to keep you guys away from that, but it ended up being Quake. I think it was Quake for both dungeons, so yeah.
I almost didn't activate my flute. I probably shouldn't have, actually, because I already had the Ice Rod. I was just looking for mitts. So I don't even know. It was probably not even worth the time to activate it.
Well,
Yeah,
quick
for
ride
me-
up to TR, but...
Yeah, for me, I got it. I was the whole reason I checked Bombo's tablet. I was gonna check Bombo's before Swamp because it's the same number of transitions. I knew I wanted to do Cave 45, Swamp Palace, Bombo's tablet, and the Big Bomb. Bombo's tablet doesn't matter if you do it before or after. Cave 45 is a little bit more of an investment before Swamp rather than after. So I knew I was going to do Bombo's tablet anyway, so let's go ahead and get that out of the way. I got Flute, and honestly, I was just tempted by the idea of Go moding Swamp Palace and Ice Palace at that point, because I hadn't done either of them. So I thought it was worth it to activate the Flute and check the overworld, but there was no way I was going in Mire. As much as I wanted to Go mode both Swamp and Ice, I would full clear both of those before diving Pendant Mire, at least in that scenario. If Flute had been much earlier in the seed, maybe I'd dive Mire, but just not in that scenario. It just didn't feel like the right play.
Yeah, luckily in this case, the flute wasn't like one of the first things you folks picked up when you entered Dark World, thankfully, because you had access to it fairly early.
And on top of that, when we made it our way to Dark World, there were actually a lot of really early on that were full clearable when you got there. It was really fascinating to see who was going to go where first. Because I think we had, what was it, 4 dungeons that were full clearable immediately in Dark World once we got access.
Yeah, we could full clear Pod, Thieves Town, and
Skull Woods was open.
I think that was technically it.
I think that was just all. I think it was only those 3 because I mean you could get into Swamp, but you couldn't clear it. So
Did anybody get the gloves in Logic by chance? Like, did anyone because I'm
Where
thinking
are
like
those?
if you got the flippers, you would have also had the mirror like your first trip up to Death Mountain.
I think I did.
So.
What I did, I water walked to Hobo, but then I quit. So then I went to Eastern and got flippers and mirror, and I went to because the gloves are in the ferry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then I did that, and then I didn't have Zora money. And then I got Zora money falling in the back of Escape, and I was mad about that, but whatever. So yeah, I guess technically I did.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody picked up the gloves early.
Yeah, because that was
didn't
one
take too
thing.
long to close that logic loop.
Yeah, that was one thing that I was also really worried about was the thought that if you got the gloves in, because I felt super smart, not only sequence breaking the gloves, but also calling Mirror in Eastern. Like after I cleared Desert, doing I hate going up to the mountain just for the old man and Spectacle Rock, but it ended up paying out this. So I felt like really smart about that. And then when I found Mirror, I was like, man, you could have had mitts, you could have had the mirror, you could have had all of this stuff, like your first trip up to Death Mountain. Although you don't have hook shot, so I guess you're missing out on Terrapot. But really, your first trip to Death Mountain could have been like really productive if you actually followed the logic of the scene.
Well,
Yeah, true.
got cut short because I fell in Spectacle Rock trying to bomb jump, and then I just quit and went to the Dark World. So I didn't get those mitts right away. But sometimes it's nice when you get mitts at the end too. So I guess in the end it was all right.
Indeed. And another thing was, just to get up to Death Mountain, logically you had to go through both Eastern and Desert, because you had to get the flippers in Eastern and then the gloves, and the lamp was in Desert's, was in the right side, Desert.
That's true. Yeah.
I just got cut in. I'm gonna take off. Just want to thank your commentators and trackers, and GG, Hydropower and P-Train.
Yeah, GG. I have to step away
GG.
too.
And
Yeah, I
GG's to
think
you,
I will
Idiom.
as well. So, thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate it, and can't wait to watch back and see my, choke job here. But that's okay. Like I said, it's totally fine.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
But,
big
thank you again,
for
guys.
joining us on this one and giving us the entertainment for it too.
Indeed,
Yeah, absolutely.
GG.
We'll see you guys around. Thanks.
Alright.
And then there was one.
And there is still one. Raylan is now just making their way over to the Pyramid of Power and will be our last runner on stream to fight the Big Pig.
So let's bring you up to date on some other racers who are not on the stream. We have Aussie 101 finishing 15th, 136.16, and Spy Weaver finishing 16th with 140.31. But let's see how Raylan does. Again, we got Butter, we got Silvers, we got Red Mail, we got Half Magic, we got 15 Hearts. I mean, my 11-year-old self wouldn't have a problem with this. I don't think Raylan's going to have any difficulty here.
Absolutely.
Although I'll tell you
not.
which my 11-year-old self knew about iframes with Hookshot.
Ooh, although Raylan did just lose over half his health in less than 10 seconds. But is on phase 3
And
now.
rage bombing for it.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to say he's done with the seed.
I don't blame him. This one was just... You hate when you have to that basically near last location go mode item. It's such a pain.
Raylan is also still running this on blue mail too. And also,
Oh, that's true.
I just realized it makes sense why Ganon doesn't defeat Link all the time. It's because he keeps thinking inside the box, because his quote was, "I'll start thinking outside the box when there's evidence of people thinking inside it."
Unfortunately, very true on many fronts, including this game's logic tonight. Oh, missing with the double attempt. Now, Raylan, we've already had enough experience. Don't get those GGs in chat just yet. We've already had an issue with that.
Yeah, we do not want to. We would like to not have to repeat this. Thank you very much.
And we don't have to, and we can tell you, Raylan has finished in 17th, official SRL time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, 15 seconds. Please do get those GGs in chat. We'll see if we can get Raylan in for a quick word over here.
And it looks like Raylan is joining us in the booth tonight. So, Raylan, GGs to you.
Well, it was a game.
It was a game. That it was, that ice run.
I mean, basically, I made 2 calls this seed and both got punished hard. So, yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the 2 items, everybody was in the same boat. At about 40 minutes in, everybody that we could see was missing Titan's Mitt or Ice Rod. So it was just a question of... We were sitting here for probably a good 25-30 minutes waiting for somebody to get to either Tower of Hera or Skullwoods to pick up one of those 2 items so they'd be able to be on their way to get into go mode. And when it's in a pendant dungeon like that, it's just a pain in the butt, and rando be rando.
Funny thing is, though, the way I would have routed it, if I didn't go for the Turtle Rock Candle, I actually would have finished Skullwoods, or would have went for Skullwoods. So, I mean, I could have been very fast in the seat. I decided the other way, and it was about the worst.
No, listen, historically, the TR gamble has paid off enough times that, we were watching the plays you're making. Every time you'd make the decision, I mean, we were in no mode very early on. Again, we're on the other side of the screen, so we know what everybody else is doing. But every time you would make a move, we would say, yep, we don't blame you one bit for the logic that you're doing. The big issue, frankly, for most of the runners was finding that flute on Bombo's tablet.
I can imagine. That's why I didn't immediately went for that flute when I found it, because, at that point, it would have been at most 5 items and could have been just a bait. Anyways, so, yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better too, we actually had, so just to let you know what happened, your thoughts might be interesting on this one. So we had Hydra and Edium basically about 40 seconds apart, and Hydra mistimed going across the 1x3 bridge.
Yeah, I kind of read that in the SRL chat, but
yeah, it was snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, unfortunately. So listen, that basically, it's my way of saying everything happens to everybody, and just some nights you're right. It was a gamble for TR, and no one at all would blame you for it.
I mean, that is rando, and you have to risk it big if you want to win big sometimes. And wasn't today. It's someday it will be my one.
You know what, though? I say this to absolutely anybody and everybody who's willing to be on the restream. You are far braver than I probably ever will be. So, I mean, the fact that you're even on that stream is phenomenal. Getting a sub 2 on a crazy mean seed is also really tough sometimes. And actually, then I want to end with the same philosophical question I've been asking a few people over the last couple of weeks, as it came up in chat and we were sort of talking about it. What flavor does the blue potion taste like?
I honestly can't tell you. I never drank it myself. You have to ask Link for that one.
we're just getting guesses. So we've had some interesting. The answers we've had so far. We've had blue Gatorade. We've had like a blue raspberry flavor. My vote was for a taro flavored iced tea kind of thing. Spyweaver, another one of the off-stream runners, is recommending Mountain Liberty. What are your thoughts, Raylan?
I mean, it's obviously some medicinic thing because it restores health or heals you or something like that. So I'm imagining it can taste that great. So
Probably tastes like penicillin.
maybe. Can't say.
Way to make it literal, guys.
Actually, no. Thinking about it, the red potion is the penicillin. The blue potion, 5-hour energy. I don't know.
Well, listen, Raylan. You know what? GG's to you for finishing. GG's to you for being on stream. Look forward to having on the stream again. And like you said, rando be rando. Honestly, every move you made, none of us could fault you on any of the logic moves you made tonight. So thank you again for being on our restream.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thanks for doing this for us. Yeah.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Our pleasure. So it looks like we're going to be wrapping up our broadcast tonight. So once again, I would very much like to thank our trackers tonight, Poseidon and Tau Decay in the background, and to thank everybody who raced, whether they were on stream or not. Big thank you again to our 4 runners, Raylan, Hydra, P-Train, and Edium. A massive thank you to my exquisite co-commentator, Captain MD13. I leave it to you for the final word this evening.
Much appreciated, my friend. But let's also don't forget to shout out our tech crew behind the scenes, mind of me, making sure everything was kept in one piece. As far as other things happening tonight, if you are looking for more speed gaming action, we still have 2 races in progress right now. We still have the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament in progress on Channel 3, and the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Weekly on Channel 2. If you guys want to see more rando tonight, that is the next best spot to find it. As far as more A Link to the Past, if you're looking for more of that, we'll be having our weekly race on 5:30 p.m. Sunday afternoon at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, channel to be determined. And we also have our Sunday Super Metroid A Link to the Past combo randomizer Sunday weekly race at 3 o'clock on Sunday. So we invite you folks to check those out if you want to see more Link to the Past rando. But with that, excuse me, on behalf of my co-commentator, the Bass Beast, our trackers, Poseidon Shadow and Tau Decay, our tech crew Mind of Me, and all of us here at Speed Gaming, we want to wish you a fantastic night. GG's to the runners, and we will see you next time.